Hey everybody, Kevin here, Old Dominion Outfitter and Guide Service coming to you out of Virginia. Just wanted to shoot a short video on some conventional gear and tackle that we use. I get asked a lot by folks, what are you throwing and what kind of tackle are you using? So I just thought I'd take a quick moment and do a short video. As far as the rod and reels, I'm using St. Croix rods, either the Bass X series or the Mojo Bass series St. Croix rods, and they're paired up with pin reels. Last year I did use some Lew's reels. Wanted to give those a try, and surprisingly enough, they lasted all season, didn't have any problems with them, and I was pretty impressed with them. So I'll do another video on the rods and reels themselves, but this one I just want to get into a little bit about the tackle and what we carry and the type of baits that we're throwing. The majority of our fishing that we do is going to be finesse fishing with these light to medium light spinning rods that we're throwing, and we're throwing a lot of stick baits. I throw a lot of Z-Man products and some others mixed in, but the bulk of what I throw are Z-Man products. I do have some custom baits that I use that I get from a local shop here locally, and I'll show you those, and they seem to, the fish respond to them very well here. So let's get started. This is what I'm carrying in my Yeti loadout box. I'm sure you've seen the earlier video on that. This is just a continuation of that. Let's talk about tackle first. As you can see here in this, I'm loaded down with a lot of these Z-Man mushroom-headed jig hooks. I like to throw the lightest jig hook that I can get away with, and I typically throw about a 1/32 or a 1/10 ounce jig head, and I usually pair that with one of the crayfish patterns that we have here. But my favorite bait to use is the small TRDs that they throw. This is the droop crawl color. This is my #1 favorite color to throw right there. You put one of these on one of these hooks. It's going to look just like this right here. It's going to ride just like that in the water, weighted point down, and it's just going to bounce along the bottom of the river system that we fish. Produces a lot of fish, and I fish this most of the time, that color right there. With the exception, if the water is muddy or stained, I will switch over and I'll throw this black and blue flake one right here. If I run short on this color right here, I'll switch over to a green. One of those two right there. This one has the purple and blue flake in it, and then this one has the more of a pumpkin seed color. If we're not throwing the Z-Man jig hooks, we're probably throwing something, a wacky rig system, and so we carry a lot of the O-rings. You've got the O-ring devices here that help you get the O-rings on them. We'll upsize it usually to a 4 or 5 inch Senko or another Z-Man product that they have, and we're fishing it something like this right here. I also carry the ERG wide gap hooks, both weighted and non-weighted, to fish the same type of baits. Here's one set up weedless with a little bit bigger Senko on it. These centipedes that I fish here, they're custom bait made locally, and our smallmouth here love them. Largemouth do too, but we catch a ton of smallmouth on these right here. As you can see, a lot of action in the water, a lot of action. We move on down the line here. We've got our standard jigs, skirted jigs that we use, and one of my favorite is the hair jig. I tie these. I take Z-Man jig hooks, and I just put them in a vise, and I tie some hair jigs, different colors, different variations, different sizes. They produce a lot of fish. Jig hooks, if you haven't fished them, you ought to give them a try. Easy to make if you want to tie them. If you're into time flies, they're easy to make, or you can go online and buy them. So as you can see in here, a lot of these jig hooks. Sorted weights. I got nail weights. I have bullet weights. I have drop shot weights. I've got a lot of O-rings. I got split rings, and a a lot of small swivels in here, weighted from about 20 pounds on up, and an assortment of hooks. So as far as the terminal tackle, that's pretty much what we're using right there. Let's see. I also carry a 1/2-inch socket with me in ratchet, and that is for my frame on my raft. If I need to make adjustments throughout the day, I can do that, and I don't have to worry with something coming loose and not being able to tighten it up, or vice versa. An assortment of pliers, which most fishermen carry. You got to get the hooks out of the fish's mouth. You need to cut line. You need to do various things. A split ring tool. Carry a couple of those. I try to carry at least 2 of everything. I like to have redundancy in case something breaks or I lose something throughout the day. I usually carry this pouch right here on my side, and it's just another split ring tool and plier combo, and then in a nice custom leather case that I had made for me. So as you can see, I load heavy on the TRDs. I like the small ones. They produce a lot of fish, and the good thing about these is you can fish them spring, summer, fall, and winter, and they'll produce fish for you. Behind that, I have some larger Senkos. I have your Dream Shots, Kevin Van Dam Dream Shots. If you haven't fished those, give those a try. When the TRDs aren't working, these seem to do the trick. And then on the bottom there, I've got some flukes there that I keep in the box. Always carry a good weight system with me, or a scale system with me rather, and always want to weigh those larger fish to get an accurate weight on them. Clients like to know the length and weight of the fish they catch when they hook into a nice fish. One of the most important things that I carry is a first aid kit. It's nothing too extravagant. It's basic first aid kit, but from time to time you do get hooks hooked into you. You do get cut, and you need to fix that stream side. So I carry a first aid kit. I highly recommend, if you're fishing and you don't carry one, you should pick one up. And you can customize these however you like. This is just one that I put together and works for me. I have in the pockets up here, I have extra hooks, as you can see, some more Z-Man products there, and then I carry tons of extra baits, so we're not going to run out throughout the day. Like I've said in previous videos, if you're fishing with us, we're throwing a lot of stick baits, a lot of creature baits, a lot of plastics. What we do may not be your cup of tea. You may not like this. This is just our preference. This is what has proven to catch fish for us, and this is kind of how we do it. You can customize your box however you like, but if you're fishing our local waters, the baits that I carry work, and it's obviously why we carry them. So if you have any comments, questions, concerns, shoot me a text, send me an email, give me a call, contact me on social media. Don't forget, we're taking bookings now for 2021 smallmouth season, and dates are filling fast. So give us a call and get on the calendar. Until the next video, we'll talk to you soon.